Hello everyone, my name's Adam Vox and welcome back to my Epiphan Pearl tutorial series. This is part 4, in which we're going to be taking a look at video file management. We've touched on this, actually most aspects of this off and on throughout the past 3 parts. But in this one we're going to take a hard look at downloading video files, renaming and deleting files on the web UI, changing video codecs for the recorders, extracting the multiple video and audio streams from a single recorded file, and then transferring your footage to an external hard drive, because you can do that external hard drive, download from the web, or download via FTP. Let's get started. Alright, first let's take a look at downloading video files from the Pearl. We already have them downloaded, so all you have to do to just straight up download a file from the web UI, as long as you're connected to it over the network, is just click the name of the video file, and it will automatically pop up a download prompt in your web browser, and you can download the file. And then once it's downloaded like these, you can just open them up and go about your day. If you want to download them via FTP, you have to come over here to the configuration tab and set up the FTP server for the Pearl. Enable FTP access, be it an admin, operator, or viewer who has the username, we'll give it the admin, and enable the FTP delete command. So give you the option to delete footage off of the Pearl or not. I'm going to leave it disabled. That's probably your safe bet unless you know you're going to be doing that regularly. And then click apply. It's going to refresh once the setting is applied. FTP access enabled. And then we're going to open up our FTP client. For me, I'm going to be using FileZilla. That's the FTP client I use the most. It's popped up over here. And then in FileZilla, we'll want to add a new server. So we'll click the Open Site Manager icon. We'll click New Site. We'll call this Epiphan Pearl. And then you'll want the IP address of the Epiphan Pearl, which I personally assigned in a static IP in the part 2 of this series, but yours may be a little different. I'll tell it that. 192.168.0.47. FTP username normal, so admin. I honestly don't remember what password I gave it. And then you're good to go. Click connect. If that's the right password, it will connect me. Oh, yeah, directory. Okay, here we go. And then we have down here in the directory, we have settings for folders for a bunch of different files. So we've got camcorder input, audio or auto A input, Xbox One input. And then all you have to do is tell it where you want to download from, and we'll download this one and drag it on over. And it will start saving your file. My FileZilla UI is kind of jacked up here. Here we go. There's the download progress. Let it download. It's downloading at about 85 to 80 megabytes per second, which is a wonderful speed. But that way you can download everything in bulk. If you enabled the delete command, you can download it, or you can delete everything off of it, and you can manage files a little bit easier than manually downloading via the web UI. Let's go check out the file we just downloaded. It's this one from, it says September 2015, but that is the one that we just recorded. If we find a different one here, yeah, let's download that one. So it's VGA Auto A. And that already downloaded very quickly. It doesn't look like it actually has any data to it. It was a recording that I started and stopped immediately. I do that every now and then. Let's find another one. Do we have a non-camcorder? Here we go. We have lots of files here. Let's download this one. Again, 60, 90 megabytes per second, 85 megabytes per second. Very good speed when you download over FTP. And like I said, you do get a little bit more control here. Do note, though, these file names will likely differ a little bit than what you actually set in the web UI. I'm not sure why, but it appears they download with different file names. So let's download this one. Auto A. Oh, that's a different one. There we go. VGA test. Oh, that's some Rocket League. And I had multiple video tracks going. So this is a preview for what we're going to do in part 6 of this tutorial. But I had one recorder with my camcorder and just overlaid on top of the game. This was when I first moved into the apartment and was working on my review for this, playing some Rocket League. And then I have a second video track with just the Rocket League recording playing here. That way you have a clean copy of the game, and then you have a copy of the game with camcorder. Just a nice little test of that. And then to disconnect or whatever, just simply close FileZilla. To rename or delete your files is actually very easy. Navigate to the recorder or section or your channel, wherever your files are recorded that you want to rename, and it's just this pencil and paper icon to rename it. So we'll call this test 1 2 3. And it'll rename it to testtest123.mp4, and if you download it from here, the file name will be testtest123.mp4. To delete files, either click this little X here. Are you sure you want to delete it? Or if you have multiple files set up, as I do under here, you just check the checkboxes and you can either do delete selected or delete all. Very straightforward, but you gotta at least like observe and know what you're doing there. To change the codecs of the video that you're recording, you do that in your recorder setup. Again, we covered this in the last part, but just want to make sure you know. You go to change, and then you can change the time and size limit, but you also change the file type. And the codec is under the channel encoding settings. But this is the file type, which is the container, not the codec, the container. So you have AVI, MPEG-TS, MOV, MP4, and then a split up fragmented MP4. And then if you go into the encoding settings of your channel, then you can set up what codec it is. So you can either do H.264, which is hardware accelerated, or you can tell it to do software mode for whatever reason. Say you have multiple of them going. And then you also have MPEG-4 and Motion JPEG options. H.264 is going to be the most compatible, most flexible, and fastest performing within this system. And it's the one I pretty much universally recommend. To extract multiple streams from a single recorded file, like that Rocket League file I just showed you, you first find the file that has it, which we may not have an example of since I just deleted it from my deletion example, GG Epos. Here we go. These have it. And when it has multiple tracks within the same video file, it will have this extract icon with the green arrow. You click it, and then it will tell you, or it will give you a list of what you want to extract. So for here, it just has separate audio and video, but you can extract them. Or like in the option in the last, actually, if we just extract one, if you check all the options and click extract, it's just going to download the file. If you uncheck one of them and click extract, then it's going to make a subset file, which you can then download so you have both. And then it'll refresh. And then once it refreshes with your extracted stream, you can just download that one and it will be separate from the original. Okay, for example, this one's an earlier copy, probably like that one that we previewed, where it has Rocket League video and audio, and then Auto B video and audio. So we'll extract Rocket League video and audio separate, and then extract Auto B audio and video separate as well. Auto and audio next to each other are hard to say. All right, so one thing to note here that I keep doing on accident and not bringing up is that if you extract one of the individual streams, then it only makes one subset file. So when you extract one of the streams, if you extract the other one before you download your file, you then have to redo it all because it overwrites your file. So this is Auto B, which has the camcorder overlay that we saw with the Rocket League underneath. Just a little preview of it here. And then the second subset that we extracted of just Rocket League then just has just Rocket League. So that's extracting the split file codecs, or split file tracks from each other. Lastly, we'll cover transferring files to an external hard drive. So obviously you need to plug in an external hard drive into your Epiphan Pearl in order for it to read it, of course. And then you go down here to external USB drive under the configuration tab. And then you can choose what it's used for. Either you ignore it, you use it to one-time move copy of all the recorded files upon insertion, which is an option to do. You can use it to manually move or copy selected files via the web interface, which is what I'm going to choose. Or you can have it to where automatically every file that has automatic file upload checked is automatically copied to the hard drive, which could be a very, very useful feature if you just want to automatically push all files you record to that drive after you record it to keep the internal hard drive clean and to automatically have an external copy. And then you can choose whether or not you want it to remove after copying, also useful for that automatic feature. Create a subfolder for each file or serial number or channel. I'm going to do for channel. Mark the file as downloaded in the UI and ignore our already downloaded files. We're going to apply that. Actually, I'm going to uncheck ignore because I've downloaded some that I don't want. And then we're also going to move it to manually copy via the web interface, which actually undoes all of those options. But if we do automatic, it's not enabled on any file, so it's kind of mad at us for that. If we do the one-time move, that's where it creates the subfolders, or if we do manual, it gives no options because we're doing it all manually. So we're going to do it manually here, and then go back to our recorder one. And then here we have new buttons underneath the download and delete buttons. So if I select a few different files here, now we have copy or move to the selected external drive. And down here at the bottom, you actually have how much external space is available on that drive underneath the internal storage, which is very, very useful to see. along with an eject button. That way you know how much space is free. So we have about 400 gigs free. So this is about 2 gigs. Hello, voice. 2 gigs. 2 gigs. We got 2 gigs left. And that's 3 gigs. 3.5 gigs about. We're going to move those files to the external drive. Unfortunately, the USB ports on the back of the Pearl are, I'm fairly certain they are USB 2.0 ports. So that does limit the speed with which you could move files, but that is okay. And then again, an issue I have with the lack of automatic updating of this page is it refreshed, but it wasn't done yet. So I just have to keep refreshing to watch the files get removed as they finish copying. But that is all you have to do. You can either copy them or move them to get it off, which is quite nice. So I do hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If it was, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome tech videos. Playlists with all of my Epiphan Pearl ones, including ones that haven't been made public yet, is in the description below. And in the next part, we will take a look at stream locations, streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Hitbox, and Live Sportscaster. So stick with us.